that's why sports is so fun. You can't write up the drama. It just kind of unfolds in front of you. And Mike Smith wins another CIF title.
Yeah, he seems to do that. He's won at Chino. He's won at Chino Hills. He finishes with another title here at Roosevelt Eastvale. And 27-3 overall, just a phenomenal year for the Mustangs. So we're going to bring Mike in. He's a proud man right now. And what's interesting about Mike, he doesn't really like to talk about himself, but he's the first gentleman or lady in softball to win championships at 3 schools. That's an amazing accomplishment.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk to him about it.
All right, Mike Smith will join us momentarily from his home, I think, in the Roosevelt Eastvale area, and we want to chat with Mike about his great accomplishment. And again, when you can score 4 runs in the final frame like that, you can see the wild celebration that ensued right after that. So we're waiting for Mike Smith to join us, and Mike's about to be there, and I think we have him now. Mike, good evening. How are you?
Thank you for having me.
Well, congratulations. Talk about this wild celebration, this crazy rally that you had in the 7th inning. It looked like Los Alamitos was going to win the title, and you pulled a rabbit out of the hat. How'd you do it?
Well, I had talked to the kids all year long about our destiny and you know, that was our goal, to get back to the finals and win one. And they came off the field in the top of the 7th, and a couple of them had tears in their eyes. And my pitcher, she was a little teary-eyed, and I asked her why the hell are you crying, to put it bluntly. And I told her, I said, everybody get over here. And I told them, I said, listen to me. I said, I've done this before. You got to believe this is our destiny. And I started pounding on my chest. And I said, all we got to do is get 2 or 3 girls on base. And Emily Carr, you're going to walk one off. And I said, and if Emily doesn't do it, we're going to put somebody else in, or we'll get to Percy, who was batting third after Emily. And I just truly believed the whole time that we were going to win. And it was kind of crazy because everything I said came true. We got a base hit. We grounded into a force. We got another base hit. They walked a kid. We got another base hit, and then she was able to hit the walk-off. And it's just an incredible feeling. But, you know, I'm only as good as the kids I coach, and they believed in everything I did all year. And I get a little choked up, but a really, really special group of kids.
Mike, talk about the arc of the season, just in regards to the beginning to the end, winning a championship, whether it be the struggles, the ups and downs. Just kind of talk about maybe some pivotal turning points in your season this year.
Well, we didn't really have any real downers per se. We played pretty well all year, but you know, and I'm not trying to sound arrogant but from the first practice, from the first game we got together, our goal was to get to the CIF championship and win one. We had lost the year before 3-2. And, you know, we knew that we were expected to get back there. And we lost a game to Marietta Mesa, and they outslugged us and in a tournament. And then we actually got a game taken away from us in Laughlin by some bad umpiring against Villa Park, who was basically ranked number 1 all year. And I told the kids all year that, you know, I have a chip on my shoulder. We should be number 1, and you guys deserve it, and we're better than everybody. And the only way we can do it is to win at the end. And Norco thumped us pretty bad in a league game, and we came back and we beat to win the league championship. From that moment on, we just kind of went on a run. We went in, like you said, whatever it was, 11 or 12 in a row. But they just always believed. They believed all year long in everything that we were doing, and we had really productive practices. And, you know, it's just a really special group of kids.
You know, you have the regionals coming up. Are you involved with that? A lot of schools have opted out, but you have a lot of momentum if your team chooses to play. Are you going to play in the regionals?
Yeah, we are. We're going to start out on Tuesday. I'm not sure who will play, but we're looking forward to it. I do have a couple kids that have decided to play travel ball, and I told them I'm fine with that. But the bulk of the team is coming back to play in regionals. And I also told them that I want to get some of these other kids some at-bats and a few innings on defense. And, you know, I'm pitching my other pitcher, Olivia Hernandez, who a lot of people don't know, but she was like 11-0 this year. She did an incredible job for us, and she's getting the ball on Tuesday, and she deserves it, and I expect her to pitch a good game for us.
The mentality switch after winning a CIF championship to that regional playoff, can you explain that a little bit? I feel like sometimes, depending on the team or the coach, you kind of mentioned it, some players are opting to play some club. is it kind of whipped cream on top, or is there an eagerness to win the SoCal Regional Final?
Well, honestly, I don't want to downgrade anything, but I think the CIF title was bigger for us. This hasn't really happened in softball other than last year and this year where they've had a regional. So, I don't really know what to expect. I don't know if a lot of the better teams are going to be in it. I haven't even seen who's involved or who we're going to draw. And I don't want to downplay it at all. I mean, we expect to go out and play and make a good showing and win. But again, I don't think it's as big of a deal as the CIF championship is, if that makes sense.
Mike, what does make sense is your team's winning championships. Again, you've done it at Chino. You've done it at Chino Hills, and this is the third school, Roosevelt Eastvale. I know you don't like to talk about yourself and your accomplishments, but you're the first coach in CIF Southern Section history to win 3 schools championships in that same sport as softball. So what's your secret? You are obviously a pretty good coach. I know you're going to mention the players, but it's obviously Mike Smith doing some pretty good things.
Well, I'm pretty good at what I do, but you have to have good talent. But I've always said all along, I've got 3 daughters that played high level sports in high school and in college, and I think you have to keep the kids in the right mindset. I grind on them pretty hard, and I bark at them, and I expect them to give me 110%. But we do a lot of different things. We have short practices. We try to just do 1 or 2 things. We might work on cutoffs one day or squeeze plays, or we might work on, just bunting one day. And we have practices where we are real productive, but a lot of teams, they do the same thing every single practice. What did you do at practice? The same thing we do every day. Well, that becomes monotonous. And, I'll buy them pizza before a game, or we'll have ice cream the day after a game when they do good. And, I think coaching girls, you have to have them in the right mindset, and they have to want to be there. They have to want to perform for you. And truly, they have to know that you care about them. I care about them as students. I care about them as people after they get out of high school. I talk to them about being good people at school and being a good student and thanking their parents for getting them there. And I think that once they realize that you really do love them and care about them, I think that they'll run through a wall for you.
Pizza and ice cream. Love that, Coach. Can you talk about just kind of maybe keeping things loose, how important that is? And, clearly it helps you win.
I think it's really important. We when we played Norco for our league championship, the girls were just they weren't pressured. They were just real loose, and we kind of had let's just go for it and try to beat them. And, that's really important. I talked to them in CIF before the first game. I talked to them in the championship when we go out to left field and play relaxed, play loose, make sure we're having fun, and more importantly, be focused. And, so it is important to keep them loose and but also to keep them ready at all times, whether it's to come in and pinch hit or come in and run the bases or come in and pitch to one batter. And I've done that several times where we've mixed and matched pitchers or, used a kid to pinch hit or pinch run. And, they've all bought into what I've done.
Well, Mike, congratulations. A great personal accomplishment. 3 schools,
Thank
3
you.
championships in softball. And congratulations to your Roosevelt team. That's a phenomenal comeback win against Los Alamitos, which has another great program in softball. So
Yes.
You are to be commended. Your kids are to be commended, and we wish you the best of luck. And thank you for taking time out with us tonight on SoCal Prep Report.
I appreciate it. I appreciate your time. And, I've been blessed to coach a pretty special group, and they deserve all of this. So thank you very much.
Well, you do a great job, and congratulations. Tarek, that's a great story. We don't cover Roosevelt Eastvale very often, but for them to come back and score 4 runs in the 7th inning and pull out the game 5-4 is amazing.
I saw that Los Alamitos team with my own 2 eyes beat Oaks Christian, and I knew how good they were. And so for Roosevelt to do that is quite the accomplishment. You tip your cap, and they win the championship. What else can you do?
What else we can do? We can talk basketball. Yeah, that's what we're going to do right now. Why would we be talking Notre Dame Sherman Oaks basketball in late May, Tarek Fatal? What do you think we're talking about here?
Yeah, well, we're talking about the bolstering of the roster at Notre Dame Sherman Oaks, and I tell you what, if there's one thing I'm looking forward to, it's Mission League basketball, because it's going to be quite fun to watch.
Yeah, next year, Harvard Westlake is the defending champion along with Notre Dame in that league. And then you got Sierra Canyon coming in. But we're going to talk all that stuff with Matt Sargent the very fine coach of the Knights of Notre Dame, who's got to be smiling ear to ear with these transfers that are coming in. And we want to talk to him about it. Matt won 21 games last year. He had a phenomenal win at home over a lot of different teams, but his greatest win was on the road against Harvard Westlake. Matt's a good guy, and he does a terrific job, and I love the fact his teams run up and down the floor.
Yeah, they always play fast. They play with intensity, and, guys like Stromer are very even keel and just good shooters. They had Ben Stoltzberg. He's going to Creighton, so he graduates now. And we're going to talk about these two kids coming in. One of them is a good point guard, Caleb Foster.
Yeah, Caleb Foster and Mercy Miller. We'll talk about them momentarily. Let's bring in Matt Sargent, again, the venerable coach at Notre Dame. Always smiling, always a good guy. Are you smiling a little bit more now that you have 2 5-star recruits that have transferred in? Foster's going to go to Duke, and Miller's going to head to Houston to join another great player you have in Dusty Stromer. You got to be in a great mood right now.
I'm in a great mood, but mostly because I brought 2 twin girls into the world 3 weeks ago. So that pair is bringing me more joy right now. Than,
so you do everything in pairs then, right? You bring in twins and then you bring in twin recruits. Is that how it works?
Twin energy. It's blessed.
All right. Are you too good now for the Mission League? Forget Sierra Canyon and Harvard Westlake. Maybe you're ready for the Pac-12.
No, the Mission League is plenty tough. I think Sierra and Harvard Westlake both have like 4 to 5 Division I players on their team. So Mission League is plenty tough.
Let's start with the first transfer. Caleb Foster. I understand he's going to Duke. Tell us a little bit about him. What does Foster bring to Notre Dame, this transfer from out of state?
So I wasn't familiar with either one of them until they showed up randomly on campus one day. So I've only been able to watch them on live stream at the Nike EYBL tournament and to talk to college coaches that have been evaluating them for the last couple of years. And so a buddy of mine who was at Louisville last year told me that Caleb Foster's best comp is Chauncey Billups. And I think that is a pretty good comp. He's a big, strong guard, pass first point guard, rebounds the heck out of the ball. Doesn't take bad shots. He's a good shooter. So, I mean, he's a tough kid and a winner.
And the other transfer is named Mercy Miller. Is he named Mercy because you're going to mercy rule every team next year? Is that what's going on here?
Well, your puns make my life. No, he's
Coach. You know that.
He's a really hard worker, phenomenal kid. His reputation is he's a scorer. He just all 3 levels, can really shoot it, strong to the basket. But what I've been really impressed with as I've watched him on these live streams is that he rebounds and passes really well. I think in the last EYBL period, he averaged over 6 rebounds and 6 assists. So he can impact winning in multiple ways, just like Dusty Stromer can.
Matt, we talking about these highly touted recruits. We know how good they are, but we know how stacked Sierra Canyon is. We know how good Harvard Westlake's going to be. Brady Dunlap, Trent Perry, Sierra Canyon's got Bronny, Isaiah Elohim. So, I mean, really, it's like I want you to talk about how it's more so just the competition. There's no, oh, yeah, we're going to win the Mission League now. So just really talk about you've got the players, but so does everyone else.
Yeah, that's part of the reason that they were attracted about coming to Notre Dame in the first place. We won Mission League last year, and we're returning the Mission League MVP, and they get a chance to compete in the best league, arguably in the state and arguably maybe in the country. So, that type of competitive fire is why we were attracted to them. And it's why I love coaching in this league, because even teams like St. Francis, who beat us last year, or teams like Crespi, they're all well coached. They all have good players. And so there's never an easy night. But obviously, having guys like Dusty and Caleb and Mercy and Dante Ogbu and Jaden Harper, make life a little easier.
Dusty Stromer, he was Tarek's Daily News Player of the Year, averaged over 20 a game for you last year, got the blonde hair, wears number 4, can really play. But the kind of personality he has, and now he's going to be joined by 2 other great players. How will Dusty Stromer, and we're seeing highlights of him right now, how will he handle that?
As soon as they reached out to me, he was my first phone call, because, he's like not like a lot of kids, and he stayed with me for 4 years, so he's helped build this program. And so, I wanted to get a sense that he was excited about them. And, he loves Caleb's game. He loves Mercy's game. And he's probably more excited than I am to get to play with them. And we made the Open Division last year, but we didn't win any games. So I think we're trying to get to another level, and he knows after playing in the Open Division and playing that state tournament, what it takes, and he knows that he needs a little bit of help. And so while we're returning 3 starters and 5 rotation players, we're also losing 2 starters and 3 more rotation players. So we needed to get some help, and these kids showed up randomly, and so we'll take them.
You mentioned 2 names earlier, Dante Ogbu, Jaden Harper. We're talking about the 3 stars. Those 2 will be pivotal. Other names, Coach, that you think are really going to help? Obviously, you need 5 players out there on the floor and some good bench support.
Sure. Angelino Mark was a freshman last year who got hurt last half of the season. He's a phenomenal player. Amari Garrett was a bench player for us who always produced when he went in. He'll be huge for us again this year. Senior Luke Nelson will also get minutes. And then we have a couple freshmen that I'm expecting to impact, even though they're freshmen, coming in.
Coach, what bonding exercises are you going to do in the interim to get this group together? When I see Corona Centennial, they're great because they're so close-knit. When they won the championship the last couple of years, they weren't necessarily the most talented team. I think Sierra Canyon had more, quote, talent. Although, don't get me wrong, Corona Centennial has terrific players. But their bonding and their chemistry and the way they look for one another was phenomenal. So how do you bring this team to be that close? Again, you now have the talent to compete with the big boys. But how do you bond them together?